Hello and welcome. I'm Wayward, and it's been a while. Um, I used to be pretty active on YouTube doing gameplay commentaries, and I kind of dropped off the face of the earth if you follow me purely on YouTube. And the reason is because I started working on Tempest Rising. Now, there was some overlap. I was working on Tempest Rising for a while I was doing the videos, but it just became too much to try to do everything that I had going on and keep up the videos, so I stopped for a while. Um, but I'm back, and I'm very, very excited to share Tempest Rising with everyone. This weekend, there's an event called Tacticon. If you're listening to this, relatively soon after I record it, and not, sometime in the future. And we put out a demo for the event. Really, really happy to be able to show the game off again. I think the last time there was a demo it was taken down earlier this year, but it had been up since Steam's Next Fest. And we were really happy to bring that demo as well. But this one shows all the work we've done since that event, and I'm really, really, really excited to be able to show off all the stuff that we have in this demo. So just to recap, I'm currently the lead game designer for Tempest Rising, and it's really been a dream come true for me, and I'm really excited to be able to show the game, but also just play it. This game is deeply meaningful to me personally, and the fact that I get to play it and talk about some of the stuff that we've been doing, some of the decisions that we made, is really exciting and really meaningful to me. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the actual game. So the two factions that we are currently showcasing in Tempest Rising are the Global Defense Forces and the Tempest Dynasty. The Global Defense Forces are a global peacekeeping force, at least that's how they present themselves. What happened in the world is in the 1960s, the Cuban Missile Crisis went nuclear and started World War III, which was a brutal nuclear exchange that resulted in a lot of devastation. But in the wake of that, this red plant starts growing everywhere, and it's not just a red plant; it's actually electrically conductive. It generates electricity just growing there. And the GDF is, at first they're more focused on peacekeeping and keeping order, and they want to make sure that nothing like World War III ever happens again. So they're basically conquering the world one country at a time to make sure that there's no more war under their purview. And as a response to that, this group of European and Asian nations come together and they say, no, we're not going to accept this. We're going to govern ourselves. You're not allowed to dictate how we live our lives. And they are less well-funded than the GDF. In many ways, they're behind them technologically, and they're very desperate. They feel like they're on the back foot against this large, well-funded multinational organization. And that's kind of sets the stage for the conflict. So all of that to say, these are the two factions. And we're going to start with the Global Defense Force mission first, and then we'll go to the Tempest Dynasty mission. And I'm playing on hard instead of insane because I'm going to be talking during this, so it's a little easier for me to talk and play on hard rather than the insane difficulty. So let's get going.
Commander, still in one piece. Nice work, but we're not done here yet. Stand by. I'm patching you through to R&D. Dr. Francis wants a word with you. Dr. Francis, this is the one I told you about.
Just a second, Colonel. Ah, good. You're the one operating near Flotchasienov, right? Anything and everything related to Tempest research goes through my team. And Iceland has Tempest in abundance. We have over 24 harvesting jobs over there. And evidently the small military presence the Council deemed to allot us isn't anywhere near enough. The Dynasty wants the Tempest. I need you to keep them off our harvesters. I think you can do that?
So this was one really cool thing that we decided to bring from classic RTS. In a lot of RTS from the 90s and even going into the early 2000s, you were the commander. The advisors were talking to you. It was directly to you. Lately, we see a lot of RTS taking the tack that you are an observer watching these characters do things. So we really wanted to lean into that and make you feel like you're actually part of the action. And if you want additional information, you can talk to these advisors and get additional backstory and lore about the game, and even potentially about the next mission that you're going to go on. So I'll do one of them, not all of the different options, and then we can go on to the next bit.
For the most part, the juice is used as an energy source. It's combustible, but the easiest and safest way to harness the energy is with simple electrodes. You don't have to worry about that though. The Tempest you harvest is accumulated as credits, which you can then use to construct a base and build your forces. From the way the Tempest interferes with unshielded tech, it also shows potential for use on the battlefield, with charged imbued shells. We're currently field testing these. Before research was suspended, prior evidence indicates that no part of the Tempest formation is edible.
Yeah, you can't eat Tempest or drink it or consume it safely in any way. But yeah, we'll go on from here. There are additional conversation options, but I want to continue going because there's a lot of stuff I'm excited to talk about. But yeah, I really like these segments as a way to optionally delve more into the world of the game.
Good. Take care of my techies out there. If you'll excuse me. Colonel.
Commander, I'm sending your troops to reinforce a base that just went dark. Push the Dynasty out, repair the base, and get our refineries back online. If the Dynasty are here for our Tempest, harvest as much as you can before they can take it. The nest has been kicked. Let's see what comes crawling out.
All right, so this brings me to something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and I'm really glad that this was actually in this demo so we can show it off a little bit. We have these two systems in the campaign. This particular one, Doctrines, is also in multiplayer, but I don't think I should talk about that too much. What I will say is in the campaign with Doctrines, you get 1 point per mission, and you get 11 total points because you've got 11 missions and you start out with 1. But in multiplayer, you just pick them in the match. You actually buy them in the match with credits. And when we get to it, I'll show you the interface and describe how that works. But basically, you would click one and it would research and spend money, and then you can click the next one and so on and so forth until you. So it happens all in match in multiplayer, but in single player, it's a meta level system, and you're picking them one by one as you go through the game. So right now we're on mission 2. We've got 2 doctrine points, one from before mission 1 and one from completing mission 1. So we've got 2 points to spend, and we've got 3 trees. Comms, this tree, if you look at the text, it is all about battlefield control and manipulation and being smart and sneaky and outplaying your opponent. So we have boosted comms. Comms is a buff that some units produce for the GDF that make their units attack and move faster, and this makes that effect better. It actually makes it wider to keep it covering your army for longer and allowing them to make further use of it to maneuver, as well as there's another effect that the GDF use called marking. I'll talk about that in a second, but it also makes your marking weapons longer ranged. And then this one helps keep your comms units alive. You can actually see what units it affects there under there: air control tower, comms rig, the support beacon, and the drone command unit and the comms officer. And then this one has drones become harder to kill. You'll notice as I go through the mission that drones die pretty fast, so this one's useful. It also makes them rebuild faster, so this is a really big deal if you're using a lot of drone units because it helps you keep up consistent DPS as the drones continue to die. And drones are also useful. They're useful soak shots, so even if your drones are dying, this helps you soak more shots from enemy units. So I think it's actually more impactful than it might look. This one is also important. So many of the drone units are also infantry, but what this one does is all infantry from your tier 1 all the way through tier 3, including your specialist units, it makes them have the comms buff without any sort of external provider. They just give it to themselves unless you're in low power mode. So this is kind of like you're equipping all your guys with radios, and they can coordinate with each other and be more effective on the battlefield. Next up, marking, which we talked about very briefly here. It silences enemies entirely, which means they can't use their active or actually many of their passive abilities as well. And last but not least, ambush protocols. The GDF has several stealth units, some of whom are stealth while stationary. And what this does is any of those units get the mobile version of stealth, so they actually just stealth permanently until they attack. And also, all drones are stealthed. So you see that this branch has things like stealth, silence, and really leans into the drone tank. Additionally, we have mobility. This is kind of utility and support powers. Makes your buildings build faster and sell for more. And the reason that they do this is so you can relocate your buildings. You can sell a barracks in one place for a good portion of what it costs and then rebuild it somewhere else. It makes your harvesters move faster and actually carry more resources. So this one is less about boosting your combat units. So this one makes your infantry better, but this one allows you to field more units. And the comms rig, which is one of the main sources of comms, its build radius, so you can actually build around it whenever it deploys into its buff mode. And then the beacon lasts longer and the cost is reduced. So you'll see in the mission that you can use the support beacon to place new refineries or buildings anywhere you want based on the cooldown, but you've got to wait for the cooldown, and it's also useful in combat. So this makes it easier to use the ability whenever you want to use it, and you don't have to wait and make these harder choices as much. And this makes aircraft better and also makes your Tempest airstrike support power more powerful. It includes additional jets, which makes it deal more damage. And lastly, just a flat reduction in the cost and cooldown of support powers, allowing you to use all the GDF's useful and powerful support powers much more often, and includes a second riot van in the riot drop. And as we'll see, riot vans are pretty useful, and the riot vans are also loaded with units. So this makes it pretty nasty. Okay, last branch. Intel. So our first two are advanced data collection, and this is one of the most important doctrines of all of them, if you're interested in this. But basically, Intel, this branch is about making your hard-hitting units, your high-tech units, better. So this is about drones and debuffs and distraction. This is about pure resource efficiency and flexibility, and this one's pretty much about hard-hitting power. But what this one does is when marking expires, normally nothing happens when marking expires. If a unit dies while marked, then you gain intel from killing it. But what this does is whenever marking expires, even if the enemy units get away, even if your units die, you gain intel from marking having been on those units in the first place. So this makes it really a lot easier to generate intel. And then this next one makes laser weapons better and also become sources of marking, which again makes it easier to mark more things to generate more intel. So this is a pretty good combo if you're concerned about your intel income. Intel costs are reduced and the duration of the marking effect is increased, meaning you have to mark things less often. It makes it easier to get a kill while marking is active. And then marked enemies attack slower, debuffing on top of everything else, making your units and structures that cost intel stronger, and then finally making the effects of marking itself more potent. And this affects a lot of your I'm sorry, not the effects of marking, the effects of network units. Network units gain bonus range and damage against marked targets, and this one allows them to become much more lethal when marking is applied. So this is pretty much about, like I said, damage and making your elite units better. For now, I'm going to go with rapid deployment, which makes my buildings build faster, and resistant threads, which gives me more resources. Moving on, I won't go through all of these. There's a fair few of them. But where doctrines are more fundamental to how your faction plays, armory is more targeted. You have things like rocket units deal the riot effect, which debuffs enemy infantry, or first aid kits, which causes your infantry to heal out of combat. laser drones, which in conjunction with this can cause make drones a lot more powerful. I'm going to go with napalm grenades, which make the already impressive grenadiers more powerful. And we'll go with optical enhancements, which allows you infantry to see further, so we can see more of the map. So probably a little bit of a non-standard build, but I do enjoy napalm grenades and my grenadiers being powerful. All right, let's go.
A GDF base is under attack. You'll be commanding the reinforcements. Reach and recapture the base before it falls. Once harvesting operations are back online, protect your harvesters as they gather the remaining Tempest. The Dynasty are establishing bases in GDF-held zones to take our Tempest. They are to be denied.
All right, nice little summary there, and into the action we go.
Battle Command uplink initializer. Please stand by.
All right, in we go to the mission.
You picking us up, Commander? Entering zone of action now. Let's get to the base. Weapons at the ready. We don't know what's out there.
The riot van can carry up to 6 infantry units at a time. Its riot suppression ability can stun enemy infantry for a few seconds.
All right, this little guy is the Sentinel. He is a scout vehicle, very fast, one of the faster units in the game. Good anti-infantry and decent anti-air damage, but mostly what he's used for, especially in the early game, is marking projectiles. This reduces his damage dramatically, but allows him to mark enemy units, which will gain intel. What I like to do, usually, is I will use Guard, D, and put him on these riot vans. Oh, and this is the riot van. It is a troop transport, an APC. Actually, when you deploy them, see those little green things? They actually heal while they're inside of them if they're hurt. So you can put units in any garrison. That includes the barracks, that includes the guard tower, that includes any garrison in the game. Infantry will passively heal, slowly, but will passively heal while inside of it, which is a nice little bonus for using garrisons. The riot van has a top-mounted gun that it can fire with that does area of effect damage against infantry. And it also has this suppression system, which I'll show off momentarily. We have this first little Dynasty guard who is going to disappear rapidly. And okay, so these little yellow tags are hints. They help you learn more about the units if you need the extra info. All right, so we come over here and we let loose the suppression system, and it puts this debuff called riot suppression, where move and attack speed are increased, and it also can't attack for the duration of the effect. So I had a bad angle on that one. The flame trooper, the igniter, did a little damage to my guys. Not too big of a deal. I already have marking enabled, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm trying to keep my infantry fresh while we go try to find that base. Poor missile trooper stands no chance. hint away. So you can see I've spent some intel and I've already gained it all back by fighting guys. Most infantry give you between 1 and 2 intel for being killed. Vehicles can be substantially more, 2, 5, 10, depending on the tech level. So you pretty much need to use combined arms when fighting against the GDF, because we have lots of different ways to make various things unusable against them.
There's the base! Enemy sighted!
Get out of there. So one thing I will point out is that every
Thanks for the rescue,
cutscene,
Commander.
sorry.
We weren't gonna last much longer.
Good job, Commander. I have the base back online. Let's get that Tempest harvested.
Every unit has a weapon card that shows damage, range, attack speed, damage type, and if the weapon has some sort of special perk, like this one, which breaches garrisons but not transports, it will show you that. Then you get their armor type, telling you about the unit and its resistances. Green is better resistance, and yellow is medium, and red is bad resistance. We have this repair feature that is global. It allows you to spend money to slowly gain additional resources.
Standing on it. Standing by.
Okay, so just as an example, this guy can load in here, and these guys can load in there, and we'll see that they will heal up over time. Now, we need to get this base up and running. We have this one refinery that's giving us resources fairly slowly, so we'll pop another one in here. Clicking and dragging allows you to rotate the structure, and then it goes down. GDF build on the map, and this is important, as we'll see momentarily, because they can build anywhere. Now, on a structure by structure basis, they can't.
Construction complete.
You see, you get this red radius that shows where you can build. That's a build radius or influence. And we'll pop that barracks down.
Constructing.
But as we're about to see,
On the road. Standing by. Acknowledged. Construction complete.
it's a riot van. Pretty dangerous.
Commander, it looks like there's some larger Tempest fields in the area. I'm linking you up with a support beacon. Use it to build up structures away from your
Over
base.
here, you see this flashing icon. That's the
Before
support
Dynasty
beacon.
can.
Source crate.
Location set. On alert. Roger. Affirmative.
So if I place this support beacon down, see it's placed like it's on a build grid. Normally I can place it anywhere, but
Pickup crates
because of this
located. Acquired crates for immediate credit influx.
mission, I can only place it in the circle.
Destroy them to disrupt enemy economy. Secondary objective accomplished.
All right, so I have the beacon down, and I'm going to bring some guys up to it as well. Now, when I try to build something, you see the red build radius, and I can now build anywhere in here.
Base is on constructing.
Put a turret down there.
Constructing.
Repair that so it doesn't die. Make sure you guys are doing real damage. And
Construction complete.
Grenadiers absolutely murder infantry. All right, I have a barracks and I haven't used it yet. I'm going to build 5
Training.
engineers. So in our game, engineers repair vehicles and structures. Very useful to just have mixed in your army. And then we'll build some drone operators, which are good against vehicles and pretty good against buildings. And some field scouts, because they are good DPS against infantry. All right, so we are racking up
ready.
some credits right now. I got plenty of money.
Constructing.
Actually, I don't think we need both of these because we've almost mined this whole one out. So Tempest does regrow, but it needs to have a root node in order to do so. So the vines grow the pods, and the vines will die without pods nearby. So this field has grown, but it can't regrow because it doesn't have a node. Over here, you see this big rock. That's the root node. This is actually a large node, and it regrows faster than the average ones. The average ones, it's partially hidden.
Unit ready.
Attack going on.
Our base is under.
We should construct our own silos before we run out of Tempest storage.
Do a support in there.
Constructing.
Base a refinery. Give it some
Additional
defenses.
silos constructing. Unit ready. Construction complete.
Some engineers just stacking up over here.
Unit ready.
So engineers can repair, and also they have this guard tower they can deploy, which you have a mission to do, so I'll just set that up.
Unit ready.
So as we've seen, guard towers will heal units that are stored inside of them. These guys are probably going to die, unfortunately.
Unit ready.
Another.
Constructing.
Okay, so we've got these super hurt guys. I can
Our
pop them
base
in
is
this.
under attack.
And
Unit ready.
some guys sneaking up the back way.
Construction complete. Additional silos required.
Let's see.
Our base is under attack.
Lost one of them, but the other one should be able to. Okay.
Unit ready.
So, thank you, sir. So you can see those engineers have repaired a little bit, but not fully. And I've been talking and I've been banking up resources.
Constructing.
Turret back here.
Constructing.
Repair this one.
Construction complete.
Let's see. We're fine. Out of resources here. Got 3 guys harvesting over here, so I'll move him over here.
Construction complete.
All right. Put another turret here.
Unit ready.
Like it. Combat ready. Ready, sir. No problem. Engineering.
So generally useful to have engineers around to repair. Let's get our bay.
Constructing. Unit ready.
So, like I was saying earlier, this is the small root node. It will regrow Tempest over time. You saw that pod just pop in there.
Unit
And
ready.
over time, those pods will mature if they're allowed to.
Construction complete.
All right. So we've got our vehicle bay. We're going to get some
Training.
hunter tanks and some sentinels. Now, the next thing I want to do is grenadiers. So I need the satellite uplink for that. The satellite uplink has a pretty big
Unit
build
ready.
radius, so I usually kind of put it over here toward
Constructing.
the edge. This will give me a lot of turret building room and what have you down here.
Unit ready.
And I can defend it with an turret.
Constructing.
This is actually a pretty good force. So what I'm going to do is take 4 of these guys,
Unit
pop
ready.
them in there. The other cool thing, by the way, about engineers is they will repair even if they're inside of the vehicle.
Construction complete. Commander, the satellite uplink grants access to upgrades for some structures. Select a structure to view available build pods. Unit ready.
Nothing.
Unit ready.
Predators are merciless. The other thing that GDF does, they have these pods. So you can see that the
Unit
satellite
ready.
uplink has 2 pod slots. Right now, in this mission, it's mission 2. We just have the riot pod.
Researching.
This will give us access to the riot band. We
Unit
can build
ready.
additional riot bands.
Unit ready. Constructing.
I just like to line my power plants up like that. Just don't mind me. And now I have
Unit
access
ready.
to the grenade turret, which will help
Constructing.
defend my base from the south.
Unit ready.
Nice big force here. Get the hunter tanks out front.
Unit ready.
You can also bind your rally to a unit. So
Construction complete.
you can see that as he moves around, that rally will follow him.
Unit ready. Additional silos required.
Silos.
Constructing.
All right, give me a second.
Construction complete.
And the other thing I'm going to do is build a repair bay. Now, I don't want to crowd my base, and I've got units pathing through here.
There's a damn rig on the ground! The Dynasty are taking the Tempest!
Engineers can repair vehicles, disarm mines, and construct guard towers. They can also capture enemy structures, train an engineer, and capture the Tempest rig to deny Dynasty harvesting.
Roger. Scouting.
Unit ready.
Tools ready.
Ready to prowling. Loading shell.
Let's put a beacon down here.
Ready.
Whole army engaged. You can kill the beacon, as you can see. So what I usually like to do is put a barracks down. Barracks has a decent but not super great build radius. You can also use a...
Cancelled.
I canceled it. I was going to put down the satellite uplink.
Unit
Oh well.
ready.
Low on sentinels that are coming.
Training.
Some grenadiers. Normally I just build a turret over here. Can't even kill my infantry, so...
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Alright, support beacon's ready again. Let's try this
Silos
again.
required.
Pop that down there. Build
Unit ready.
a satellite uplink. This will give me plenty of build radius. So the other thing I should probably say is when I select my units, if I hit tab, it will cycle through the active unit group. So right now I've got Sentinels, Grenadier, Hunter Tank, they don't have abilities, Field Scout, and back to the Engineer. So I can select one of these Engineers out of the group and have him go
Unit ready.
capture this Tempest rig.
Infantry!
I'm in. Enemy rig secured, Commander.
Alright, now that this is built, I can build a...
Constructing. Unit ready.
Now they have guys down here trying to kill my
Construction complete.
rightfully stolen Tempest rig.
Unit ready.
So these things have very little health, but they do rebuild over time. See, just one just popped out right there. Excuse me. But
Unit ready.
you could just harass these things to Kingdom Come if they're not protected. Because it takes them quite a while to rebuild their harvesting rate if one of the harvesters dies.
Unit ready.
Or all of them die. I don't really need this here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'll put a repair bay down here. Sell my old one, since I don't need it anymore.
Yes, sir.
Some guys just hanging out.
Got it.
And I can defend my front line
Placing satellite.
with these towers.
Construction complete.
Tools ready. Engineering. Setting it up.
Their base is right there.
Roger that.
I'm maxed out on resources. Let's see.
Sir? Ready, sir. Engineering. Tools ready. Sir?
Yep. There.
Build it.
Come in, Command.
Explosive.
Command. Affirmative!
Field scouts have a decent range.
Yes, Command.
Acknowledged.
Looks like I need some drone operators, so...
Training.
And I can even pop down a second barracks if I need to. can also use barracks defensively. They are a garrison with firing slits perk. Nope, don't.
Unit ready. Training.
Pair it up.
Scouting. Unit ready.
On your command. Acknowledged.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Keep trying to lure me over there. Okay, I think I've got enough.
Unit ready.
And I'll pop the beacon down to support my army. So this is going to make all of my units attack and move 30% faster, which is very useful. You see, we've made it so the engineers don't run right up into combat. Dynasty turrets are pretty tough, so I should probably focus on those.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Alright, took that without too much fuss.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
We've got some hurt guys, but it's
Unit
not
ready.
too bad. Alright,
Unit ready.
now, how many grenadiers do I have? Grenadiers die pretty quick to
Training. Unit ready.
anti-infantry, so they get right up in the middle of things.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Just clear this mission out by killing the silos, and I'm good to go.
Good job, Commander.
Ah, he survived.
Unit ready.
Get out, get out. Ah, they didn't die. Alright, so that's the first mission, the GDF mission. Let's go on to the Dynasty one. So for completing objectives, you can see that I've gained 1,300 requisition points. You get points for completing both main objectives and side objectives, so that incentivizes you to do the secondary ones. You also gain a doctrine point because we're going into mission 3, and an armory point again for mission 3. You can see how many resources I harvested, the units I produced. You can see which units and how much damage they did, etc. All pretty cool. And now let's go back and go into the Dynasty mission.
Welcome back, General. Command is pleased with your work. The Tempest you harvested will go a long way to fueling our cause. If you're going to be out there on the front lines, you should know more about it. The Tempest is more than a resource. That's how GDF sees it. But they are short-sighted. It is true power for everyone. Power that anyone can have. It came to us in our time of need. That's what our dynasty was founded upon.
Alright, again, we have the ability to go and get some additional information. And again, I'm going to skip this for now, just for purposes of keeping things moving. So,
Understood. Let's get you back out there.
thanks,
Got
Lieutenant
something a
Melnick.
little different for you, General. A naval GDF task force is a little off course. They seem to have gotten lost in the Black Sea and ended up deep in Dynasty territory. I suppose that's what happens when their scopes can't find half of our bases. That being said, they've brought enough firepower to establish a small foothold. If I may make a recommendation, perhaps you should give them a map when you turn them out of our base. Good luck, General.
Alright. So Dynasty also uses the same doctrine and armory system, of course. The doctrines are, I think, for the Dynasty, fairly self-explanatory. Security, you have things like larger explosion radiuses. Your generators, they produce this. They can be swapped to produce this distribution mode effect, which causes them to produce units faster or to attack faster if it has a defense on it. And this decreases the damage that it does. What distribution mode does is it damages, like if it's boosting a factory, it damages the factory over time. And this reduces that damage to make it less costly to maintain. I actually think this is one of the best doctrines to get in the whole thing, because it really frees you up to kind of mass produce units. Anyway, minefields, vehicles. Your vehicles that die drop mines. There's actually another one that also has them drop infantry units, and you can get both throughout the course of the campaign. So your vehicles dying can actually both drop a landmine that can hurt your enemies and also give you a unit back. And then oversight, which makes your air units better. Defensive operations, which causes buildings to automatically self-repair, which is a really convenient thing to have happen in between battles. So you don't have to worry about it quite so much yourself. You can still repair them, but this provides a baseline so that the next time, and it also actually helps with distribution mode, because once the distribution mode is turned off, the building will seal itself back up. And then lastly, frontline construction, which makes MCVs and salvage vans both cost less and increases their speed, as well as giving them much increased build radius. The intent behind this is that you've got all these defensive bonuses, and this lets you turn that aggressive at the end. Aggression is pretty straightforward. It's things like increased health, increased veterancy gains, more ammo for air units and units like the Porcupine. There's an ability called Tempest Dynamos that some units have that allows them to damage themselves. It's actually kind of similar to distribution mode. These units can damage themselves to gain a rate of fire increase, and this causes them to take less damage while they're in that mode. So it allows them to, again, maintain that for longer. And then there are units called specialists that are limited quantity. They're kind of like commando units or heroes. In last year's demo, there was a riot medic, which was one of the GDF specialists, and this just kind of makes them better, more powerful. And last but not least, there's leading the charge, which causes all vehicles to have increased health, which actually does stack with veterancy. At least one of the veterancy levels allows you to your units gain flat health. But we don't have a StarCraft style or Age of Empires style upgrade system where you have units gaining armor or damage, so the units having just a flat health increase makes them more survivable, and there's not a lot of stuff out there that you have to kind of keep up with. So this is intended to be a pretty non-trivial thing that you've got your whole vehicle army is stronger. And then logistics is, again, it's utility and income. So harvester wheels rebuild faster and are harder to kill. This plans system, which we'll look at momentarily, is cheaper. This is a big one. The salvage van can deploy into a salvage center. It's basically how the Dynasty expands to new build areas. And it allows the salvage center to attack back up into a van. It also makes repair. Anything that repairs is harder to kill. The Dynasty really like healing and repairing things. And they need to, because they keep damaging themselves with things like dynamos and distribution mode. Power plants retain some power generation distribution mode. You get infantry units when vehicles die, and then your construction yard, if it's running a plan, will generate money over time. So you can basically trade a power cost for additional income over time. For this one, I'm going to go with security, and I'm going to get the extended life generators and the increased area of effect on explosions. Going into the armory, again, there's a ton of options in here. Let's go down to the 2-cost ones. We have pilot combat training is the one I'm going to choose. With this one, when a vehicle dies, it drops in infantry. which, if you have this and the manpower, it won't spawn more guys, it won't spawn like 3 or 4 guys, it will actually just spawn a higher veterancy guy. So they do work together, which is, I think, pretty cool. Alright, jumping into the actual gameplay.
A GDF naval sortie have captured one of our bases by the Black Sea. A VIP stationed at this base guarantees he possesses information worth mounting a rescue mission. Reclaim the base and the Tempest, and secure the VIP. We will deny GDF intel at least, but if it is of no value to the Dynasty, you are authorized to deal with our VIP yourself.
Alright, in we go. I love the way that tank looks, by the way. The boar tank.
Battle command uplink initializing. Stand by.
I'm also really happy with how we have the GDF and the Dynasty's tech looking different, even from the interface level. You can tell the Dynasty's running on like older operating systems, and they have just these pixelated, digitized effects. Fun fact, because I have that doctrine, it actually spawned a Dynasty Guard when that Havoc rocket buggy died to the mine. It actually spawned this extra guy.
General, Pythia has intel on an informant who was stationed here when GDF attacked. We cannot allow GDF to take him. Reclaim the base and secure the VIP.
Rocket, on my way. Confirm. No problem.
So, technicians are a little different from engineers. They can't place a defensive structure. Instead, they have the ability to place landmines. Actually, the GDF comms rig can place landmines as well, which is what you saw in that opening segment. So it doesn't just generate comms, it also places mines. And the GDF mines only cost intel, where the Dynasty ones cost credits. The Dynasty don't have a secondary resource. The GDF have intel, the Dynasty don't. They basically use power and health as secondary resources. And that's not obviously indicated in the resource menu, it's just you have the power bar there, and then individual units have their health. I like to keep war tanks out in front. They're designed to be damage soaks. They're actually faster than hunter tanks, but shorter ranged. They're also considerably more expensive. It's a much more powerful unit pound for pound.
A salvage van was captured around here. Looks like it may have been taken south. It could be valuable to keep our tanks in working order.
Yeah, pound for pound, they're stronger, but the Dynasty don't have as many ways as the GDF to boost their tanks. So they don't have anything specifically like comms that would make them perform better. They just have, the war tank. Fun note about crush, it actually does slow down the unit that is crushing. You still can crush a decent number of units if the need arises. Don't kill my igniters. Dynasty anti-infantry is flashy, but GDF anti-infantry is surprisingly effective.
The salvage van repairs nearby vehicles while stationary. It can be permanently deployed into a salvage center for increased repair range and build radius.
Missile trooper. Confirmed, General.
But little hint, if you control-click a unit, it selects all units of that type on the screen. You can also double-click.
At once.
Alright, so this guy is a stealth detector. You can see his perks, and he has a repair aura that repairs vehicles as well. Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I've never done that before. I accidentally deployed him, and he's stuck there now for the rest of the game. That's almost worth a restart for me. This is just a warning not to do this. So I'm now in low power mode because I have nothing that produces power, and he is just gonna sit there. That is super embarrassing. I was too earnest with my clicking, and I popped him down in the wrong spot. So not a super useful place for him to be, unfortunately. So you see these little white things that show up when someone's attacking you from the fog of war, so you can see what's attacking you. I am being real sloppy with my igniters today. Still embarrassed about that. Alright, back with that. Both those sandbags.
Prisoner secured. Let's move.
VIP sighted.
Lost all my igniters. So you can see these guys have the comms buff. Which definitely makes them more dangerous, but they're not going to kill a bunch of vortex, so. Lost all my igniters like a fool, because I was being sloppy.
It's the Dynasty. Defend the base.
Take him out.
The Dynasty Guard is very much a swarm unit. They are much less impressive than the Field Scout in terms of damage output, but they're really cheap. Let's capture that construction yard.
General, I've routed the Tempest rig to your location. All Tempest you see is yours. Deploy it in your base to start harvesting.
General, construct the power plant to keep our base power in the green.
So you can see that the Dynasty they build inside the construction yard. It's all shown in the queue. A couple of igniters now and some Havocs. Havocs can carry infantry, which means I can heal my guys. I think they're all the injured ones are dead though. Actually, I got this one. This one injured guy. There we go.
Of course, General.
Alright, power plants.
Primary objective accomplished. Our power plants keep base structures online and provide a large construction footprint. Now, construct a machine shop near a power plant and we can put distribution mode to work.
Like a dream. Equipment ready. Okay. Right. Acknowledged.
Secondary objective. Construction complete.
Let's place that one I can get back to the action.
Excellent. Now we just need to build a radar station and we can locate the spy. Our machine shops are the workhorse of the Dynasty army. With multiple machine shops enhanced by our power plant's distribution mode, we vastly outproduce the enemy.
I had a whole thing I was going to do with that salvage van too. Oh well.
Oh yes, power distribution mode. I almost forgot. Try it out and watch the sparks fly.
So one thing I want to call attention to is, as the Dynasty, I can queue up buildings. So I've got the power plant queued, and when that's done, I can place it. And then it'll automatically start building the barracks. Right now, you can only queue one at a time. And the reason I'm way over producing power is not just to be silly. There's actually a reason for it. So the Dynasty power plant has these 3 plans. Logistics plan, as you can read there, harvesters move faster and Tempest rigs move faster, and construction yards build structures 10% faster. So that one is the plan that you want if you're trying to build up your economy. Marshall plan, all units gain 7% attack speed and 10% increased resistances. So that's a good one for, obviously, for fighting. It also enables Tempest dynamos. You can't use Tempest dynamos unless you're in the Marshall plan. And then finally, we have the security plan, which improves the effectiveness of repair, slightly reduces unit and building cost, and then increases your radar station's efficiency. So plans are relatively small bonuses, but I find they are significant nonetheless. The other thing to point out is the GDF, most of their buildings provide build radius. For the Dynasty, it's mostly power plants. Your other buildings have a very, very small build radius, maybe mostly for turret placement. But the power plant is kind of the center of wherever you're trying to expand to. And as you can see with the Dynasty, with the GDF, I was placing all of my power plants off in the corners. With the Dynasty, I want them right mixed in with my other structures so I can do this.
Yes, fully charged.
You can see it's reduced the...
Into overdrive. However, it comes with small fire risk.
I can take these technicians and move them up here, and they will put one beside that, put him beside that, and then they'll repair those. Get some Tempest rigs before I run out of money, and then produce some Havocs. Okay. Now my radar station is ready.
Primary objective accomplished.
We've traced the VIP to a GDF stronghold in the south. It looks like they're preparing to evacuate. We can't lose the informant.
So you can see, even with 3 power plants, I'm almost out of power because I'm running the plan in this construction yard, and this power plant isn't making power, it's actually boosting these 2 structures next to it. This actually stacks up to 2 times. If I were to turn this one on, I actually can't because I don't have enough power. So let me put another power plant here.
Unit ready.
But if I turn this on as well, it will doubly affect, you can see, it actually doubly affects it, but will produce it
Unit ready.
much, much faster. So I can really pump out guys.
Unit ready.
Oh, I've accidentally produced extra power with this, so it turned off one of my distribution modes.
Unit ready.
Let's actually just turn that off for now. I'm running low on resources.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Power plant is ready.
Unit ready.
So, power plant placement for the Dynasty has a lot of... it's something you want to think about. This is actually not a great placement. What I should have done is place this barracks over here on this side, so I can run distribution mode against more. Stop them from killing my harvesting.
Unit Unit ready.
Glad I have a billion rocket troopers.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Let's see, I have technicians now. I'm gonna put mines here.
Unit ready. Secondary objective accomplished.
And I'm going to swap out of security plan and into logistics
Unit
plan
ready.
because I need additional resources. I'm running slightly low, and I'm depowering,
ready.
turning off distribution mode
Our
because
Tempest
I
rig
don't
is
have the
under
resources to
attack.
sustain it.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
So I'm going to get an extra machine shop and an extra barracks so I can have production.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Finish up my army apparently.
Cancelled. Unit ready. Unit lost.
Gotta keep the big guys out front. Havoc's deal a lot of damage, but they're made of tissue paper.
Our research on the properties of the Tempest. Destroy the data core to deny them access to our data. Unit ready.
Off a little bit. This is normally where I deploy the salvage van here so I can set up a forward base.
Unit ready.
Remember to deploy my...
should sweep the bridge for mines. Where's our technician?
Unit lost. Training.
Some anti-infantry on there.
Unit ready.
Back, there.
Construction complete. Insufficient funds. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Alright, got some extra
Unit
resources.
lost.
Stole that. I can't do anything with it, so I'm just going to sell it. Get some extra
ready.
resources. Extra barracks in there.
Unit lost. Constructing.
I don't have the income to support this right now, so I'm just gonna sell these at the moment.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
That's my base.
Unit ready. Our Tempest rig is under attack. Unit ready. Uncancelled. Unit ready.
Let's turn this back on.
Unit ready.
Set up the repair.
Unit lost.
You cannot kill your own structures with distribution mode.
Unit
Once
ready.
it gets critical,
Unit ready.
just turns off. So you do
Unit
need to pay
ready.
attention, but it's not super duper critical. You can't kill yourself
Unit
doing it.
lost.
Just got this, so.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit
I
ready.
think I'm in a pretty good place right now.
Unit
Guys out
ready.
front.
Our Tempest rig is under attack.
I killed him on my mines. I'll show you.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Whatever you need. Blow it up.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Let's swap this into Marshall Plan. Keep my guys alive a little longer.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
I don't know why I decided to build an extra
Cancel.
power plant.
Unit ready.
Pull back
Unit ready.
for some reinforcements. Got a ton of dudes here, so
Unit ready.
just pull these guys down
Unit
here.
ready.
So he's max veteran, so he can repair himself passively.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
So the way I look at it is the Dynasty are more active economically. I'm constantly coming back to my base to see how many,
Unit ready.
how my structures are doing and what plan I'm running. You know, basically how I'm spending my power and how I'm spending my building's health. With the GDF, it's their army that's more active.
Unit
The
ready.
Dynasty has a lot fewer active abilities. The Sprint is one, which is useful for avoiding crush.
Unit ready.
But these guys are a transport, not super useful in combat unless I'm going to be putting a bunch of igniters inside of them or something. Or
Unit ready.
kill my Havocs. Oh, I lost one.
Unit ready.
Ton of infantry up there. Where's my...
Ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
I think if I keep the boars out in front... No, you guys don't go in front.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Alright, much more manageable now.
Unit ready.
something off? Yeah, I'll pick you off.
Be advised, I'm tracking movement to your east. It looks like they're preparing for an airlift on the other side of that bridge.
So I can hit and then run, literally. Now, 4 field scouts probably aren't going to take out these missile troopers, but what the heck. Discretion is the better part of valor. Okay, possibly because I haven't built anything in a while.
Training. Training. Unit
I'm
lost.
starting to bank up some resources. I can actually, I'll sell you.
Unit ready.
Ah! Chad Igniter just took out the whole defensive line.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Completely forgot the side objective to destroy the data core.
Emergency evac protocol. Let's move.
Oh, you're not getting past me, bud.
The VIP is on. Disable that vehicle. Don't
So,
let it leave.
there's our
Unit
Dynasty
ready.
Spy, our VIP that we've recaptured.
VIP secure.
I completely forgot to destroy that data core. All right. There we go. Good little preview of how the game works. We've got 1500 acquisition, the same doctrine point and armory point that we got from the GDF. Looks like I missed one, and I failed to destroy the data core because I was not paying sufficient attention. Same thing, we've got our summary. Actually, fewer resources gathered. Actually, fewer units as well as than last time. But I killed a ton of guys. The GDF were just kind of throwing a bunch of field scouts at us instead of as many grenadiers and grown-ups as maybe they could have. So, hooray for us. Although it still was quite a fight, I think. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm, like I said, really, really excited to be a part of this project. Really excited and proud of what we're doing. And I just want to thank everyone who watched and listened to me talk at screens, like the Doctrines and Armory, for probably way too long. But yeah, I like I said, I'm really happy that this event is going on, and that I get to be a part of this project, because it's really, truly in many ways a dream come true. So again, thank you so much. I'm Wayward Strategy, Brandon, and I'm the lead game designer of Tempest Rising, and really hope that people take a look, and hopefully Tempest Rising is something that might appeal to you. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the battlefield.